Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening in my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. I gave it a 3 count that time.
I saw Goose was just staring at you.
And we're live.
Ooh, hello.
Hello, here we are. Hey, what's today?
My birthday.
Oh, big 3-8.
Yeah,
oh
3-8.
My gosh.
Woo.
May 7th. Well, we're recording this on May 7th.
Yes.
So this is actually your birthday that we're recording
It
this on.
is.
This is a big weekend. It's Mother's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day tomorrow.
Your birthday.
Yep.
I mean, 38. Do you know what time you were born?
5:56 p.m. So I'm not quite 38 yet.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
If we're going down to the minute.
Technically.
That's exciting. Are you excited?
Yeah.
You having a nice day so far?
So far, so good.
All right. I mean, there is some crazy bipolar weather happening.
Yeah, very. I'm like bundled up in a hoodie and a blanket on May 7th. What is going on?
I mean,
thought it was going to be a fun, like, let's play outdoors in the water with Maverick. No.
Yeah. It's total. The Ville has the weirdest
weather. And it's going to be almost 90 degrees the rest of the week starting Monday.
Not today,
it's
though.
Like 50 today.
Happy birthday.
Woo. 38 years young. Let's do it.
I'd sing you the song right now, but I think that's copywritten, and
I don't think it is.
No?
No.
Like I don't know if you can just sing it online.
I don't know.
Or have to
look into that, and then you'll have to sing it to me late.
So 1984, huh?
1984. Yes. A long time ago.
Long time ago. Do you remember anything from 1984?
No, I was born. That's all that needs to be remembered.
I don't know. I mean, I'm always curious if there's one person out there in the world that has a memory so good that they can picture like one.
I don't know if our brains are capable at that age of forming and storing long-term memory.
I don't know. I can watch our little guy light up when the Minions come on TV, and he
watches it every day. That's short-term memory.
I mean,
he freaking loves that movie right now. It is so cute.
Yeah.
His giant toothy grin every time they pop up on screen in the beginning.
Toothy is a good, yeah.
So cute. 8 little teeth.
Little chiclets.
He had more teeth than our friend's 19-month-old yesterday.
Yeah, but
and he's not even 1 yet.
Yeah.
He's got all the chompers.
They had very similar features in their feet.
Yeah, their feet are both chunky. So cute.
Very cute.
So cute.
Well, I mean, yeah, all right. So we're in hoodies, these nice, soft, cushy hoodies that were given to us by NB Goods.
NB Goods. Yeah, we love that place.
And I'm not like a giant, oversized hoodie kind of person, but this thing is like...
It's so comfy. Yeah, I could live in this thing. I mean, I practically do.
Which is so funny because, like, I really do wear a hoodie all the time. And then I go outside, I'm like, it's not hoodie weather, but I love
being a hoodie.
Hoodies.
Yep. If I didn't get so hot at night, I would just sleep in this.
So I did a little digging on actually I didn't do too much digging. I just really typed in big events in 1984.
So much digging. Took a lot of effort.
I'm always interested, like in the past stuff that's happened. Like some of it's cool, some of it's whatever. I mean, the past holds interesting things. So
it does.
I pulled up. It's the title of this one was there was a bunch, and I went through a couple. So I did do some research.
A little bit of research, yeah.
This one stood out the most to me. 33 remarkable things outside of your birthday. Or you being born, obviously, that happened in the year 1984.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm not listed in that article.
Well, I didn't make it all the way to the bottom.
Oh, okay. Well, I should be at the top. Number one most remarkable thing that happened in 1984.
I know. I can agree to that most days.
Rude.
The number one actual, for this article, Best Life online said that Apple aired the 1984 Macintosh commercial.
First ever one, right?
First Apple commercial, yeah. And it was during the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, very cool.
Very cool, right? Some Ridley Scott.
Yeah, the director.
Directed it, right fresh from Blade Runner.
Whoa. We should watch that commercial. I'm sure it's got some similarities to the movie. Maybe it's a little dark.
It is a dark commercial.
Cool.
It cost $900,000, so I guess
back then that was a lot of money.
Yeah, in today's standards it'd be $2.2 million.
Which is actually pretty standard for a Super Bowl commercial nowadays.
But it set the standard for Super Bowl commercials. Since that day, it was the production value. It just had that big budget.
Yeah.
Let's sell some computers.
Let's sell some computers.
1984 was rocking out that. That's number one.
Okay.
They say Richard Branson actually even though he had already formed Virgin, the record label, started his airways company.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Virgin Atlantic?
Virgin Atlantic, yeah. Okay, here's a good one.
Have you ever flown Virgin Atlantic?
I have not, actually.
I have not either. Where do they fly?
The Atlantic.
Then how come we haven't flown it?
They fly, I think now there's more flight paths, I guess you could say, or more flight things, more planes.
Uh-huh.
I know they have hotels now. I've been to the hotel.
They do have hotels, yes.
Which is funny. I've been to the hotel, but I haven't.
That's what's on Music Row, right?
Right
by
down the
my
road
office.
from your office, yeah. It's very nice in there, I have to say.
Cool.
Yeah, the bar was all right. But it was also a rainy day and whatever. Purple Rain.
Ooh.
Landed with a splash.
Oh, a splash. Wow. Yeah, very clever writing.
Not
very
only
clever.
did the movie come out, but also the album was released
awesome.
This summer.
Can you sing that song?
You don't want me to. I could, but let's.
Such an iconic song. I mean, the moment
I'd like to
hear
keep
the title,
listeners.
You can
immediately
hear it.
Oh, yeah. And When Doves Cry was on that.
So many hits.
So many hits. You're a baseball fan. I
am a baseball fan.
Dodgers?
No.
Yankees.
How dare you?
You are a Boston Red Sox fan.
Yes.
In May, so the month that you were born, the longest running game went down in history of MLB.
Whoa, who was playing?
It was the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay, sounds boring.
Rude. There's a lot of good things came out of both of those teams.
Yeah.
But
they're not.
Guess how many hours it lasted? So a typical game lasts, let's say, 4 hours, right?
That's it? Feels so much longer than that sometimes.
Well, when you're huffing down hot dogs, peanuts, and beer.
Yeah. I don't know. I will guess 10 hours.
8 hours, 6 minutes.
Wow.
25 innings, and the Brewers eventually pulled off a win.
Wow, 25 innings. That is a long game.
That is a very...
I would have had to take a nap.
Very long game. This one's all right. Wendy's hit the world with "Where's the Beef?"
Okay.
campaign.
Nice. That was a good ad campaign. I do remember that.
You don't remember that.
I do remember that. I mean, it's not like 1984 was the only year they did it. It was their slogan for a while.
I really like Wendy's chili.
You do like Wendy's chili.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Texas chili. There's beans in it.
I mean, the Frosty is definitely my favorite.
Frosty and fries.
Mm-hmm.
Extra salt to fries.
But I'd rather dunk McDonald's fries in a Wendy's Frosty.
Yeah.
I like McDonald's fries the best.
They are freaking good.
They are delish.
Number 10. Michael Jackson's hair catches fire.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
More detail, please. How did that happen? You can't just move on to the next one.
Well, remember he had that really kind of curly.
Yeah.
It kind of.
Was it like the product in his hair, or was it pyro at a concert? What happened?
It says that January 27th, a major moment in pop culture, as reports emerged that while filming the 6th take of a pyrotechnic shot for a Pepsi commercial.
Oh, a Pepsi commercial. Pepsi
Sparks
almost killed
landed
Michael Jackson.
on Jackson's heavily gelled hair and set it aflame.
That must have been so scary. Is there a picture?
There's a picture of him getting out of a car.
Oh, well, I don't care about that. I want to see his hair on fire. How terrifying.
Yeah, so I'm sure he got free Pepsi for life.
Pepsi's gross. I wouldn't want it.
Whoa. I mean, I don't mind a diet Pepsi every once in a while.
No.
I'm a Sierra Mist fan.
Yeah, I like Sierra Mist, but we're not talking about Sierra Mist. We're talking about Pepsi.
Right.
Pepsi is like flat, overly sweet Coke.
Dang.
Coca-Cola all day.
Dang.
Woo. Love it.
Tetris dropped its first block.
Oh,
So the game
Tetris came out in 1984.
It says Tetris has always been there, but yeah, first released in June 6th. So,
okay.
Almost
about a month after my birthday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hour-long infomercials became the norm.
I'm sorry for that, everyone.
Oh, now this one. Now I like this guy.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
He danced into America's heart.
Footloose.
Yep.
Great
February
movie.
1984.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Kenny Loggins was a part of that too.
Oh.
Yeah. He also, do you know what song Kenny Loggins did?
Footloose?
Clearly.
You know who else did that song?
No.
Blake Shelton.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually one of his most popular songs. He did it for the remake that they did a few years back. I mean, more than a few years. I think it was, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago or something like that. But yeah, he did the remake, and he plays it live usually at his shows. People love it.
Does Kevin Bacon pick Blake up in the
he does not at the concert.
That would have been, if I was the director, awesome. I would have been like, hey, can we get Kevin Bacon to have you dance the night away?
That'd be amazing. It would be amazing. I would love to see the two of them do the dance together.
I'm only going to assume that Blake is probably like 2 feet taller than him.
I would assume, at least.
I'd be surprised if, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Kevin Bacon could be like 5'10".
I kind of feel like Kevin Bacon and Tom Cruise are similar in size.
5'10". Oh, like 5'5" then? 5'6".
Well, a lot of actors are actually around that like shorter to like middle height.
Interesting.
All right. Who else is really short?
Who?
But is awesome? Well, yes, definitely me. Pitbull.
I love Pitbull.
Oh, Mr. Worldwide is the man. But when we filmed a music video with him and he and Blake were standing next to each other in this one part of the video, they brought over a box for Pitbull to stand on so that they were like, I mean, definitely still nowhere near being the same height, but there wasn't as much of a height difference for the camera angles. But yeah, he's awesome. He's like the nicest guy.
I bet they have to do that on Top Chef a lot too for Padma.
She usually wears some pretty big shoes.
The guests have to stand on a little milk crate.
I kind of feel like Tom Colicchio's kind of short. Maybe they put him on a box to stand next to Padma.
Well, we'll have to ask that question.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
That's funny though. I bet Mr. Worldwide's having a blast right now down in Miami.
Oh, 100%. He's
F1.
Coming and playing Bridgestone again. We missed it the last time he was here, I think.
Oh, we have to go.
I think we just had our little nugget.
We're
gonna just have had our next nugget when he comes again.
I guess I'm just
Everybody
gonna have to
tells
go.
me it's like the best show ever. Like, don't sleep on Mr. Worldwide. It's
I
amazing.
can believe it. I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'll leave you here.
You just let me know. FaceTime me so I can watch.
Sorry, I'll be too drunk dancing the night away.
Very
All right. Here's another good one from May. Ooh, another one from May. May 1984, he opened maybe they missed. I think they missed a word here. Opening of 16 Candles.
Ooh.
So the directorial debut of John Hughes.
Great movie. He made a lot of great movies.
Yeah. 16 Candles though. Wow.
It's a good one.
Good one.
Molly Ringwald.
That hair of hers.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like a Annie wig.
It did. She crushed it though.
She did.
Yeah. You got to have the right skin tone.
Yeah.
For that color hair.
Do you know what other movies he did?
Did he do Breakfast Club?
He did.
Yeah, I love that movie. That is my favorite movie
That's a
that
great one.
he ever did.
What's another one?
Did he do?
So 16 Candles. Think of 16 Candles and Molly.
No, I know there's definitely another Molly Ringwald one, but I can't think.
What's your favorite color?
Name. Pink.
Uh-huh. Pretty in Pink.
Oh, Pretty in Pink. That's it. Yeah.
And then one more that you may or may not get, but it takes place in Chicago. There's a Ferrari involved. It goes through the back.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Yeah, another good movie.
Yeah.
Man, 4 great movies.
I mean,
but Breakfast Club's definitely my favorite out of those 4.
It's that or Ferris Bueller's Day Off is.
I know, but
great.
Breakfast Club is just so iconic.
All right, here it is. Alex Trebek gave his first answer.
On Jeopardy? First time hosting Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So Jeopardy had been kicking around network TV since 1964.
Whoa, it had been around for 20 years pre-Trebek?
Well, that's what it's saying here. I mean, I don't know. I thought he started it all.
I guess not.
But the Alex Trebek whatever this word is, proved the most popular and enduring by far.
What's the word?
Iteration.
Okay.
I had to read
it's
that.
Like a version.
Yeah. I had to read it a couple times because like the
whatever this word is.
Yeah. So he moved behind the podium in 1984.
Very awesome.
All right, 17 astronaut. And we're not. I'm skipping some, so
Okay.
we haven't gone through 17.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's 33 of them. Some
Okay.
of them are all right. Astronauts made their first untethered spacewalk. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal, although I don't know why you would want to be untethered in space.
It's the clout. Just coming back to Earth and talking
like,
smack
yeah,
at a
I walked
bar.
around without being tied to anything. I could have floated away at any moment,
You
never
were-
to return.
You Earthlings and your gravity.
Yeah.
Peasants.
Peasants. I knew you were going to say that.
Sound like pilgrims down here. I was
Pilgrims.
floating in space.
Being cool. How crazy is that, though, to think that in 1984 we were wandering around in space?
So the picture makes it look like he's like 400 feet away from the... And I know he's a good distance away, but yeah, that would have been terrifying.
He must have... Did he have like a backpack with little thrusters on
think
or
so.
something?
Yeah. Or his friend was like, had him on a fishing line.
Yeah, like, it looks like you're untethered, but...
He like let go for 1 second.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yes, that was a big one.
Cool.
Space has always been so amazing to me. We can have a space episode down the road.
Sounds good.
The space shuttle Discovery had its maiden flight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. 1984.
Wow.
I mean, it makes
Obviously,
sense.
1984, yeah.
We're talking about
Mhm.
1984. I was looking for a date. It doesn't say. Yeah, took off from Kennedy Space Center. I skydived over Kennedy Space Center one time. It was awesome.
That's cool.
All right. Ghostbusters was a thing.
Yeah, it came out in 1984. Love it.
June 1980. A bunch of
right.
a lot of movies came out in 1984.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy he became the biggest movie star in the world in 1984.
Wow. So I wonder, what movies were out, I wonder, that made him the biggest movie star in the world at that time?
Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop.
I've seen
I was
Beverly Hills Cop,
yeah.
but not Trading Places.
It's a Dan Aykroyd, I believe.
Oh.
It's a good one. I think he goes from a poor guy to a rich guy.
His stand-up was so great.
He is hysterical.
Hysterical. That red freaking outfit.
Every time I listen to anything Dave Chappelle or, like some of these comedians that talk about sitting at a table with him, they're just like, it's unreal. And then his brother, Charlie Murphy, rest in peace. I mean, another just comic genius.
Absolutely.
That they could just hit whenever they wanted from what I hear. I've never seen them live, but and blah blah. Oh,
and
this is
blah,
the one.
Blah.
Yada yada yada. Some other stuff happened. Blah blah
great.
blah.
I should still be number 1 on this list.
Have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode where they're yada yadaing?
No, I don't think so.
It's one of the greatest lines because it's George and this girl, and she's like, yeah, I saw my ex-boyfriend the other day. Yada, yada, yada. One thing led to another, and I woke up at his place. And he's like, well, you can't yada, yada over that kind of stuff. You what?
Details. And yada, yada, yada.
Such a great thing.
Love
so
it.
he goes, the whole episode's about that, but Seinfeld was, that came out in, I think, like 88 or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. We're going to stop at this one because this is going to lead into you.
Okay.
Today is about you. I think the next maybe 2 episodes might be about you.
Okay.
Special. You're special.
Well,
right?
you're sweet. Thank
In many ways.
Yes. All the good ways.
Yes.
Careful, dear.
Is this thing on? For the record, yes.
Yes.
Dear.
Perfect. So what's the last one?
The very first MTV Video Music Awards aired.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And I bring this up.
The first Moon Man.
Yeah, not because, I'm still a giant fan of anything on MTV, but back in the day I used to be a pretty big fan of the music awards, and I mean there was a lot more music, I feel like.
There was a lot more music back in the day.
There's music videos,
yes,
and
for sure.
Now don't get me wrong, I loved Road Rules and Real World and
TRL.
I was on the out. Like the first few years of TRL, I was like, yeah, this is cool, and then I slowly.
I snuck TRL in every day after school.
Did you tell Carson that the other day when you were hanging out with him?
I didn't. I'll have to tell him that the next time I see him. But yeah, it's so funny to see him like.
He still looks
I
the
literally
same.
used to watch you on TV when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And now I like.
But how cool! Like his
hang
career
with
is.
you when you're with my boss.
Yeah, but like his career is like went
That's
from just
awesome.
kind of like being this VJ.
Yeah.
To.
I mean, he's on the Today Show every day.
Runs The Voice basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't run it, but he's
but
like.
he hosts The Voice.
He hosts The Voice. I mean, he does like New Year's Eve stuff too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Great guy.
Such
a nice guy.
Character is, in my opinion, like, don't get me wrong, Ryan Seacrest looks like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really heard anything bad about the guy, but to me, I think I would just get along better with a Carson Daly.
He's really funny. Really, really funny. When he and Blake are together, I love to just like sit around and just listen because they just go off.
Well, yeah, and you can now talk about this too, but you were filming something, right?
Yeah, when we mentioned on our episode 2 weeks ago now?
I don't know.
I think. We mentioned that I was about to have a very busy week of filming coming up. And that was because we were filming Blake and Carson's new show, Barmageddon, which just got announced on Friday. It'll be on USA Network this fall. It is hysterical.
Pretty
fun, crazy bar games.
And from
Nikki
what you
Bella
told me,
is the host.
some good
she
guests.
She was awesome. Yeah, great guests. Can't tell you who they are yet.
I was gonna say we can't say.
That's not announced yet, but the show's gonna be really, really fun. It was a lot going on that week. Very, very busy, long, exhausting days, but really, really a whole lot of fun. They're hilarious together.
Well, let's back it up though. Let's go 1984.
Yes.
You're born. MTV has been out. Things are happening. And the very first Moon Man crosses the stage to be given to, it doesn't say who. I'm sure it was probably like Madonna or Michael Jackson or one of those at the time.
I thought you said it was Cars.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Cars.
The best, yeah. Duh. I did.
I was like, wait, you told me this morning
I don't
it
know
was the Cars.
I don't, it just says the video of the year.
The video of
I don't
the
know
year.
If, like,
I mean, that's the biggest.
Is that the biggest
That's the biggest
one?
award that they give out
So-
at the VMAs. It's the Video Music Awards.
Okay, that makes
Video
sense.
of the year is the coveted, very last award given out at the end of the show.
So it did say that. My bad.
Gotcha.
But it was, Cars, You Might Think.
You might think I'm crazy.
Yep. And we hear that song every day when our little
we
dude
watched
is
the
watching
movie Cars.
the movie Cars
Although
2.
we
Cars
don't.
2.
Oh, Cars 2. Sorry, Cars 2. We don't watch it nearly as much anymore because the Minions have taken over.
Minions.
He likes the Minions way more now.
Freaking Minions.
I never thought we would see the day where he would like something more than Cars, but those little yellow fluffy things have taken over.
They have. I just scrolled a little bit further. Guess what Cars beat out?
What?
Michael Jackson's Thriller for the win.
What?
Yeah.
That is a travesty.
Ooh, that's mean. The Cars might.
Thriller
It's
is like one of the most iconic music videos ever made.
Well, we have.
It was like a mini movie.
Yeah, but
how did that not win the very first Moon Man?
Have you seen You Might Think by Cars?
I have not.
Okay, well then you can.
Have you?
Yeah.
What happened?
Amazing. I can't spoil it.
Is it monsters dancing in sync and doing the moonwalk? Because if it's not cooler than that, then Michael Jackson's Thriller should have won.
It should have been Tracy Jordan's
Werewolf
bar mitzvah.
I love that show. If you've never watched 30 Rock, highly recommend.
Werewolf bar mitzvah.
A werewolf bar mitzvah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about you because we got a chance to talk about me. And seeing that this was on this list in 1984, I thought it was kind of a cool... Maybe there's something...
Good little segue?
Yeah, you were born into music.
Maybe.
Know?
Well, I mean, I kind of was born into music. My whole family is musical. Like, my mom was a singer.
Yeah.
She actually recorded an album.
No way.
And my dad was a drummer and played in a touring band in Kansas when he was growing up.
Very cool.
My brother was a drummer growing up.
Yep.
I was a singer. My grandmother, my grandmama on my mom's side, was a concert pianist. Phenomenal piano player. Her arthritis got really bad as she got older and she wasn't able to play anymore. But when we were young, she would play for us, and it was, I mean, you could put pretty much anything in front of her.
No, that's
It was
awesome.
amazing. Yeah. My brother actually has her piano in his house.
Oh, that was going to be one of the questions if that was
and all
the
of
piano.
her sheet music and everything. He has all of it in
That's
his
so
house.
cool.
Yeah. Really, really special.
So yeah, maybe you were born to be in this business from the start.
I think I was. I mean, it from as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
Or a marine biologist. I think that was like a really cool job back when I was little. Like everybody wanted to be a marine biologist.
I wanted to be a marine biologist.
You know, you were starting to learn a lot about the ocean and sharks. I wanted to study sharks. But that was always like, well, if I'm not a singer. But eventually, I decided if I wasn't able to make it as a singer, I wanted to work in the music industry and help other singers realize their dreams and make it.
That's cool.
So I did end up getting to live out one of my dreams from being a child, which is pretty amazing.
Well, awesome story. Thanks.
No problem. That's
it. All right. Have a wonderful week.
Story time is over. Phil took 4 episodes to tell his story. Berkeley took 4 seconds.
Elaborate. Okay. Well, I mean, all right. So let's family. Music. I never knew that about your mom. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, her voice is very
she has a soothing voice.
Similar to like Judy Garland is who she got compared to a lot.
I like her
voice. Who was
voice.
Also very, very big when my mom was growing up.
Okay, so Little Berkeley, obviously
sing all
1984 you weren't singing.
No, not
You were
yet.
yelling, you might have been screaming and
Probably
crying.
yelling, yes, but not singing.
But when we were eating this morning, you told me at 4 you started singing?
I think, around 4 or 5 or something. I mean, as far as I can recall, I definitely started singing at a very young age. My parents, whenever they would have like guests come over, as I got older, they would ask me to sing for them, and I would get like super embarrassed about it. And like, I remember one time when we were living in Arizona, I went and sat on the stairs that would go upstairs and made them listen from like another room where they couldn't see me and I couldn't see them. But I did. And loving to sing really made me super obsessed with music.
Mm-hmm.
I was always borrowing my parents' cassettes and eventually their CDs. Like the first cassette I can ever remember listening to, there's two of them, were Tina Turner on my Walkman and Genesis. Yeah.
Gosh.
So good.
So good.
So good.
What song would you sing?
What song would I sing?
Uh-huh.
I mean...
What was one of your favorites? I guess
Invisible Touch was my favorite Genesis
song. Yeah.
Love that freaking song. So fun just to like dance around to.
So which was the one that you would sing to your parents' friends?
I don't remember.
No?
Probably a church song.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't really remember.
I feel like a lot of those songs, like from childhood, we all sing the same ones, like Mary Had a Little Lamb, or
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I'll have to ask my parents what I used to sing. My memory's not so great sometimes.
I'm sure it wasn't a Madonna song.
Definitely not. Was not allowed to listen to Madonna, for sure.
So you started singing, and then I'm just gonna say that your whole family was into music, so you would just have music hour maybe, or you guys would do like musical things daily, or... I
mean, we weren't necessarily doing like musical stuff together.
Oh, okay.
Because
like
everybody
had
traveled a lot for work. So as my brother got into drums and he started taking drum lessons, he took, am I going to remember this correctly? The guy who was his first drum teacher taught, I think, Carter Buford of Dave Matthews Band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Okay.
I'm 90%.
Did you guys start your first band together?
We did not. I always wanted Sam to be in a band with me. But
I'm surprised you guys didn't.
I know. Especially as I got older, like into high school and stuff, and like really like started to want to be in bands and things like that. I'd always be like, Sam, let's start a band. He's like, me. But I mean, he loved drumming, but being a drummer was never like his end goal. He always wanted to be a Marine. Always.
Gotcha.
Ever since he was 4.
Yeah.
So like I always wanted to be a singer. He always wanted to be a Marine. So no matter how hard I tried to convince him that we should be in a famous band together, he was like, no, I'm joining the military as soon as I'm allowed. I have no idea. Probably something stupid.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
So you started singing.
Yeah, started singing. I mean, I was in choir. I would sing in the church choir and stuff like that, and eventually I would have like solos in both and stuff like that.
Yeah. What year did you start the choir?
Oh gosh, I mean, elementary school.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that when kids? I mean,
I think so.
Maybe I was just so out of touch with
elementary
starting
school
stuff, or maybe I was a part of things. I don't remember there being a choir.
Maybe middle school.
Middle school. Okay,
maybe.
That sounds.
I don't remember.
I remember they gave everybody those stupid recorders.
Oh, I did have to play one of those hot cross buns.
I never played one.
No?
I skipped a lot of school.
I kind of hope that our kids end up having to play the recorder just because I feel like it's a rite of passage.
I'm going to throw that thing out the window on the way home after we pick them up from school.
I'm going to play it.
After we pick them up from school that day.
See if I can remember hot cross buns.
Let me see that thing that your teacher gave you. Right out the window.
Bye. But my the first band I was ever in, actually, this is kind of crazy. I was 12 and we had moved to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
And I was starting 7th grade. And so totally new city, very, very different than living in South Carolina, which is where we had been before that. And I had listened to a lot of like Hootie and the Blowfish and like things like that, like country and stuff like that. I'd always loved rock, but hadn't really been exposed to a whole lot of rock other than like the Police and like the Doobie Brothers and things that like my parents would listen to. But so we moved to Arizona, and the first talent show, I sang in the first talent show. Actually, I sang Lean on Me.
Nice.
And I got the hiccups. I can't believe I'm remembering this story. Literally got and I was singing it a cappella, like all by myself in front of, and it was a huge middle school.
Oh, that's awesome.
And got the hiccups in the middle. And instead of like walking off the stage, which is what I totally wanted to do, I just like kept on going and got everybody to sing along with me.
Hey.
But
good on you for finishing, though.
It was not easy, but I was glad that I did. But so then after that, when I went back and sat down, there was this band that played, and I can't remember the name of the band, but I do remember the song that they played. They played Smashing Pumpkins' Zero, which became my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. It was the first time I'd ever heard anything by the Smashing Pumpkins, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And they didn't have a singer. So somehow I ended up talking to them at some point in school. And they were like, oh, like, we're holding auditions for a lead singer. Like, would you want to audition? I mean, I'm like 12. And I'm like, yes, of course I would.
So where does my mom drop me off?
Right. No, she literally did have to bring me to one of their houses where they had like band practice in the basement. Yeah. But I mean, they were really good. I mean, like 12-year-olds playing a Smashing Pumpkins song. I was very impressed. Yeah. So I went to audition, and the song that they asked me and this other girl, her name was Stephanie, to audition to, because they wanted it to be a female lead singer, which was really cool because there weren't a ton of female-fronted bands back then. Yeah. They asked us to learn and audition to Spiderwebs by No Doubt. And that was the first time I'd ever heard No Doubt. I'd never heard of Gwen Stefani before, and just fell in love with that Tragic Kingdom album. Gosh.
Such a good album.
Such a good album. So we both auditioned, and they couldn't decide between the two of us, so they picked both of us. So we were like dual lead singers, and I think we ended up having like 2 band practices ever, and we never performed live. But that was the beginning of me as like a singer in a band.
Well, so if you were 12, I mean, that's almost, what, 28 years? No,
26 years
I'm not
ago.
mathing, right?
26 years ago.
I totally math completely wrong.
You definitely just
I went blank.
Face planted in the math department.
I was like, what?
26 years ago.
I disappeared into my brain.
You did.
So 26 years ago, think about this. The other day, you were actually hanging with Gwen the whole day.
I was.
So you got to help her.
Yep, we were hanging out.
So in her little Berkeley 12-year-old that's probably still in the back of your brain was probably just like screaming on the inside.
I mean, the very first time I ever met her, I definitely on the inside was like, no freaking way. Like, first of all, how did my artist Blake Shelton get you? Like,
he's hysterical.
He is so funny. And I mean, he's a very good he's a very good looking guy too, but I mean, Gwen Stefani is like queen of all things. Yeah. She's
I'm
just
sure once
amazing.
But
once like the nicest,
absolute
sweetest, most wonderful person.
For sure.
Could not hurt a fly.
Super
so sweet. But yeah, so, and I still haven't told her that story yet. One day I'll tell her. But yeah, every once in a while, if like she's talking about No Doubt or something like that, I'll think about like, oh yeah, Spiderwebs. That's right. Like
that was a good song
audition. Too. Oh, great song.
Her,
I couldn't sing it like her at all, but
now once you learned about who she was at 12 years old, did you start to see yourself like more in that front woman position?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to be
powerful
a lead singer of a rock band.
Woman.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot. You know, there's a lot. Now it's more, obviously. But yeah, she really was a very prominent, I'm going to just go on a limb and say, inspiration to
Well, she was like the it girl for ska music. Like, because of her and her band, ska became like a mainstream thing.
I could agree to that.
Yeah. And that, listening to No Doubt, just opened like my musical world to listening to so many other bands, like rock bands that were starting to get big back then. I mean, Bush, of course, like 16 Stone, great record.
Yep.
Everclear, So Much for the Afterglow. I started listening to that record after that. Still love that record. Third Eye Blind. I mean, like all those bands that were amazing back then. I mean, I just dove deep.
So 12.
My first Tool record that I ever got.
When did you? Okay, so hold on. Let's not get too far off here. I wanna know more about this band.
I mean, there's not much else to tell about the band. Like, that was
but
it.
Would you guys see each other at school?
I mean, yes, we didn't have like a lot of classes. I mean, this was a massive middle school. It was Desert Shadows.
So it's completely, like you said, it was completely
and it was
different
only
from
7th and 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
And there were like, I mean, I think I had like 800 kids in my 7th grade class. It was huge.
That is big.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was literally like a campus that you were on for class. So, I mean, I didn't see a lot of the people that I was friends with.
So when you broke up, you were like, that was whatever. See you later.
I ended up changing schools after 7th grade. It was a public middle school, and then my parents decided they were going to send me and my brother back to a private Catholic school, which is what we had attended when we were living in South Carolina.
Okay.
So we ended up going to this. Literally, I went from a massive public school to the tiniest private Catholic school I've ever been to. It was kindergarten through 12th grade.
Wow.
And there were like 40 kids total. There was one graduating senior the year that I was there. One. But I did win the K through 12 spelling bee.
How many kindergartners did you beat out?
I beat the senior in high school. I was in 8th grade.
Well, I didn't know if you competed.
Of course, it was a school-wide spelling bee. But it was a great school. V. Day Marie Academy. It was great.
What word did you spell?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I won. That's what I do remember.
Hey, good on you.
That counts.
So you didn't start a band at the Catholic school?
I did not start a band there, no. And then we moved away from Arizona after only those 2 years. So.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah. So we were just there for a hot minute.
So
basically, I mean, after...
But you got the taste of that, like, new music.
Yeah.
Like, this was like a whole new Berkeley starting to emerge.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
Did you start to want to dress like Gwen?
I mean, I definitely wanted, to dress more rock and roll. I got in trouble in 7th grade for wearing a spaghetti strap shirt that wasn't allowed.
At the school?
Yeah. Which was wild. Don't you dare show your shoulders.
Those naughty shoulders of yours. Those naughty shoulders of yours.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I got in trouble. It's funny, my dad and I were actually talking about it the other day.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we wore, and I didn't wear it to school.
Yeah.
Because I would have gotten in trouble and sent home.
Uh-huh.
But a group of girls I had become friends with, I was also in the talent show doing like a dance with all the girls. I think we danced to Quad City DJs.
Wow.
The Train. Yeah.
Jeez.
Great song.
But
yeah, we all wore these like black spaghetti strap shirts, but the spaghetti straps were rainbow colored. It was super cute. And I wore it under my outfit when I left for school that day because the talent show was like right after school or something. And then they called my parents and they were like, your daughter and these other girls broke school rules, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I showed my shoulders. I'm the worst.
In 7th grade, I got caught with a bong in my backpack.
You were way worse than me.
I remember that phone call to my parents was fun.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I bet it was. I bet.
I was time machining in that office for a long time.
Yeah, I did not time machine until way later.
That's funny. So you moved away from Arizona. I thought you lived there for a longer time.
No,
for some
just
reason.
2 years.
Wow.
We moved back to Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh,
from
okay.
There.
I do. I mean, I know kind of the timeline, but in my mind, sometimes I think some of them play longer.
Yeah.
They must have been there for. But then again, you were in Falmouth pretty quick after all of this, right?
Right. So we were back in South Carolina for 2 years, and then we moved again.
And that was
when we moved to Massachusetts.
Any music stuff in the
choir when I was
just kind of back to the normal.
Yeah. So I basically I finished 8th grade in Arizona, moved back to South Carolina, started high school, went to 2 different high schools in 2 years. So I went to 4 different schools in 4 years. Moved to Massachusetts. That made the 5th school.
Wow.
But yeah, just choir. I did a lot of solos.
Okay.
In choir. I did a performance of Britney Spears.
With the snake?
I don't think... No, it was Hit Me Baby One More Time was the song that I performed.
That was a big one?
That was a big one.
Did you
I
wear
had the pigtails.
I was going to say, did you wear the schoolgirl outfit?
I did.
Okay.
I'll leave that image in your mind. You're welcome.
I'm going to take a little pause here.
And appreciate.
We'll be back. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, and we're back.
But so then we moved to Massachusetts.
What kind of singer would in a there's alto?
I was an alto. Alto, second soprano.
And what does that mean? I've heard those terms before. I've heard soprano, but I thought that they were like a mob thing.
That is also true. So an alto is like the lower register for a female. So I could sing like pretty low. And then a second like soprano. Low. Yeah, exactly. Okay. A second soprano can't sing as high as a first soprano. That's like real high. But a second soprano can sing higher than just an alto can. So I would kind of vary between alto and second soprano depending on what the choir needs were for the song.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool. I mean, we traveled and we did like a performance. I think we went to like Georgia.
With Britney Spears?
No. Oh. But I did. She was not my first concert, but I think my second concert I ever went to. Yeah. Wow. The Hit Me Baby One More Time tour. It was her and Westland and LFO.
Jeez.
Yeah. At what used to be called the Bilo Center.
Yeah.
But is now the Bon Secours Wellness Center in Greenville.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a full circle moment for me when I went back there on tour with Blake. And I hadn't been in that building since I was 15 or 16 and had seen Britney Spears there.
Like, this is so cool.
I was like, I've been here.
I think there's moments, though, that I think that's why it's so special when, you know, like people always ask, like, oh, what was it like to work in the music industry, or what is something that stands out to you? I think it's a lot of stuff like that, like going back in time and remembering what drove you or me personally to get into this business. And then there's moments, where you like walk into a building, you're like, oh my gosh, I remember sitting over there as like a kid and watching so-and-so.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was, you know, when you did your like history of PK episodes, you made it pretty clear that you didn't get into the music industry because of a passion for music. You wanted to travel, you wanted to be on the bus and do all of those things. I was obsessed with music from a pretty early age.
Still are, though.
Very much so. But I mean, back then, like all through high school especially, I would not sleep, like could not go to sleep unless I had my headphones on and I would have a CD in my Discman and would fall asleep with music playing.
Check those batteries.
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Extra bass off.
Sometimes extra bass on. I liked the extra bass. Sometimes.
It depended on how much battery life you wanted.
It also, it also depended on what the song was, because sometimes it would ruin it. But I mean, and cranked up too. Like I wouldn't listen to it quietly. It was on like all the way loud. Yeah.
Oh no! I mean, I remember falling asleep. I had a little boom box that sat above my bed, and I would either play Green Day Dookie on.
Great album.
I don't think it would be looped because I would eventually like to fall.
Oh, mine was definitely on loop.
Nah, there's something.
I would wake up if it turned off.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, but I wasn't in it for the music. I just like would imagine myself playing in the band. But okay, so you're in Greenville again. You're doing the choir. You're living your best life soloing.
Yeah, and I had never been to a concert before and had been begging my parents for years to take me to a concert. And the answer was always no.
Which was the first concert you'd ever wanted to go to?
Oh, that I ever wanted to go to?
Can't remember.
I don't even know. Who knows? Probably Genesis or Tina Turner, because that's what I was listening to way back when I was little. I mean, my first CD, I borrowed The Police Synchronicity from my dad and never gave it back. I still have it.
Do you really?
Yeah, somewhere. Awesome. Yeah, it's in a bin somewhere. I mean, I can vividly remember like the album cover, reading through all the liner notes. I used to love to sit for hours and just read through the liner notes and learn the lyrics and stuff. But the first CD that was ever actually mine for my birthday, my 10th birthday, I think, before we moved to Arizona. For my birthday that year, my parents gave me, because I had requested them, the Mariah Carey Daydream album and Michael Jackson Dangerous.
Ooh.
And I just wore those two out. I absolutely wore them. I would dance around the living room. I mean, I would cranked. My dad always would be like, turn that music down. I would play it so loud.
I can totally picture that.
Oh my gosh, I would play it as loud as I could. I mean,
this house is so loud.
Blow the speakers out. Yeah, 100%.
No wonder your brother was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to be in a band. She's too obsessed.
Too obsessed. Too loud.
What's funny, you just mentioned something really funny that as you were saying about the CD liners, I would open them, and if there wasn't a photo of them playing live, I would just move on because I wanted to see all the. Well, it's like you just said. Like I didn't care to learn the lyrics. I just wanted to see the backstage pictures or them in their attire. Like dressed up on stage. Yep. Like that was me.
Pictured in front of a bus doing something.
Oh, always. Yeah. Anytime I saw a tour bus. Ooh.
No, I obsessed over the lyrics. Lyrics. I've always been a lyric person when it came to listening to music because they tell a story. You are. I will say, from the day that I've known you, you have definitely, every song you've ever played me had something that, especially if it was from one of your artists, you're like, oh my gosh, this one. You got to listen to. So well written.
But it's not like every single one of them. You just can really hear good stuff inside a really good song. And I've always been like very impressed by that with you. And so I'm going to go on out and say that probably started by your obsession of reading the liners.
Probably so.
Do you miss getting liners?
I do. I really do. There was something so special about having something physical to hold in your hands while you were like assaulting your senses by listening to it. Because I really would listen to music so loud because I could feel it in addition to hearing it. Yeah. And that just like kind of heightened the sensory experience for me. Yeah. But I would save. I used to babysit a lot when I was growing up, and I would save all my babysitting money, and then eventually like my first job when we moved to Massachusetts was at Stop and Shop, and I was a cashier there when I was 16. And I would save all my money to go and buy singles at the record store, and I would just play them all the time. Yeah, all I ever wanted to do was listen to music. It drove my parents crazy because I'd be in the car and they'd be trying to talk to me, headphones on, music all the way up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense though.
Obsessed.
They're thanking you now for all the times they've gotten to go backstage and gotten free.
Go to shows and things. Yes. It ended up working out, thankfully.
It did, though. And I think that's why it's cool for, like you said, I told my side. But I think that you have a different approach to the music business because you've really taken a passion and really, like, okay, sure, as kids or as, like, we go through the choir or we go through orchestra or we play in the band kind of because our parents want to. But it sounds like, to me, you wanted to.
I did. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound like, because, like, when I joined the orchestra, I think it was kind of forced.
Yeah, no, it was, I wanted to do it. Yeah. Any opportunity I got to sing or be a part of something like that, I was doing it.
So through this whole journey, you're like, all right, now I'm back in South Carolina, Greenville. No instruments, though.
No instruments. I always wanted to play guitar, but I think having a drummer in the house already, which was very loud, I don't think my parents were too keen on the idea. Because I didn't want to play acoustic guitar. I wanted to play electric guitar. I was adamant about playing electric guitar. And I think the thought to them of having something where I could turn the volume up in addition to my brother playing drums, like that was just not going to happen.
That's funny.
Yeah. So no instruments. I mean, I like took piano lessons when I was like in elementary school or something for a hot minute. And I think doing that helped me I can still semi-okay, like read sheet music and some pick stuff out on the piano and stuff like that, which has helped me just in understanding like the progression of a song or something. But yeah.
Where'd you go to after Greenville?
So we moved to Falmouth, Massachusetts. Another culture shock. Beautiful up there. I ended up really loving Massachusetts. Obviously became a huge Red Sox fan. So we moved up there the summer before my junior year of high school.
With Mariah Carey and...
Oh, that was when I was 10.
Oh, that was 10. Okay,
yeah. But so at this point, I had already moved more into rock and roll, for sure. So we get up there, and I mean, like, hip-hop was big then. I mean, like, I loved Nelly, that first album, Country Grammar.
Yeah.
Came out when I was a junior.
Remember when I was mixing him?
Yeah, it was awesome. I was living my best life.
You came out to a couple of shows.
I did. It was awesome. I waved at him.
One of them at Wrigley.
Yeah, at Wrigley. That was amazing.
No, not Fenway.
No. Oh, yeah, at Fenway.
Yeah. But we did Wrigley that same time. But you came out to the Fenway.
Yeah, I came to the Fenway.
And you brought your best friend from Falmouth.
Well, yeah, and so Sydney, she moved the same summer before junior year. She moved from Arkansas to Massachusetts.
That's a big shock too.
Yeah, very big shock. And I was a cashier at Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
And she and her mom came through my line. And as they were getting their groceries checked out, Sydney was crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's wrong? Like, I don't know. I
You're
just
such a
struck up a
person.
conversation with her. Like, why are you upset? She's like, I just moved here. I don't know anybody. And I was like, I just moved here. I don't know anybody. Like, I'm auditioning for the cheerleading squad next week. Do you want to come over and learn the cheers and we can do it together?
Aww.
And we've just been besties ever since.
That's cute.
She's the best. I miss her.
Aw.
Yeah.
Why don't
she
you guys
still
start a
lives in
band?
Massachusetts. We should have, because she's a great singer too. It would have been awesome. And we both love rock, and not just like regular rock. I mean, we love the hardcore, like screamo stuff.
You guys do. I
love it.
Meeting you,
we like
I was
lived
like,
for Ozfest, and all Oddfest is probably what it should have been called. Live for that stuff.
You sent me a photo of you two the other day with your friend's band,
Twisted Method.
Twisted Method.
We were in Florida visiting them.
That photo of you two, I had to look at it 2 or 3 or 4 times
all
and just be
the
like,
fishnet gloves.
what is happening in this photo? I was like zooming in on the pants. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
She's so hot.
All the Hot Topic outfits, 100%.
So yeah, I mean,
black fingernails only.
But that wasn't right when you met. You guys were clearly cheerleaders when you first met. So
clearly, well, yeah. Until we were in college, we weren't really allowed to dress that way. But as soon as we left high school, things changed.
Yeah, when I brought up this MTV thing, we both had a giggle because I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I just would. I was a bad kid.
I definitely wasn't allowed, but all I cared about watching was TRL.
But
because I cared about the music.
I remember watching it back in like some of my earliest memories, like I would say like 86, 87, MTV. I would sit at my grandma's house and I would scroll through the TV till I found it.
Wow.
And I would just watch it. I would
That's
get in
awesome.
trouble.
I would get in trouble and still watch it. Sounds like you.
Yeah. But you had told me a fun story that you got in trouble, or that you couldn't watch it, but you would sneak it.
I would sneak it, yeah. So I would get home from school, and so there was a TV in the basement of our house. We had like a really nice finished basement, and there was a TV upstairs in my parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I would go up to my parents' bedroom because like my mom would be downstairs, like starting to prep dinner or something like that, or like helping my brother with his homework or something. Somehow I would have time by myself as soon as I got home, or maybe like she wasn't there, she was out running errands.
Yeah.
And so that, because I had I got my driver's permit when I was 15 in South Carolina, so I could drive pretty early, and I would drive my brother and I to school. So some days if she wasn't at the house, it was like, oh.
Ooh.
And I would run upstairs and turn on TRL.
Time.
But I would have it on like really low just in case she got home. And then I'd like switch the channel to something else. Like, oh, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Sorry, Mom.
I was watching Guts.
Literally all I wanted to see was the music videos. I was a good kid.
I totally. And it wasn't by any means to make it seem like you were doing anything bad, but I'm assuming I'm assuming that you were doing it because you loved music and you just wanted to like get as much in as you possibly could. And music videos too though brought out a different dimension.
They used to be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it really would highlight the storytelling of a song a lot of times, which I loved.
I think that there are, though. The only problem is to find them, you really either have to be shown a music video or you Google it and end up on YouTube, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know this song even had a music video.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the budgets back then for a video were over the top.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because you would see a music video on TV and it would make you go buy the record.
Yeah. Oh, there wasn't streaming, there wasn't all these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when a new album was dropping, they would put out their hit into a music video, and then they would put it all over MTV, and then VH1 would do it, and then Fuse and
I would love to watch Behind the Music on VH1. That was another
good.
Great show.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So you'd sneak when you were watching MTV or TRL, I'm gonna just say, was it because that you wanted to like maybe learn the moves, or you were getting, like Because
I mean,
when
for
you're in
some
a
of
when you
them,
want to be in a
maybe.
band though, you want to kind of like, what are the other bands doing? Like
I mean, at that point, I was really just loving the
obsessed with
music. I was just like inhaling every bit of music I could get from any and every genre.
Okay.
Hip hop, R&B, rap, pop, punk, rock, anything I could get my hands on. I wanted to listen to it. I was just devouring it.
And is this kind of when your brain started to really want to go into music?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but then
Well, your backup plan.
yeah, my backup plan. Well, so my plan after graduating high school had always been I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to go be a singer. Like I'm just going to figure it out on my own and it's going to happen, which I'm sure so many people have the same dream.
I don't think anyone's ever done that.
Nobody's ever done that before. Yeah, I'm going to go be a starving artist / waitress and live in LA by myself. And my parents insisted, they were like, you have to go to college.
Okay.
You must go to college. After you get your degree, you can go do whatever you want. But you have to go to college and get your degree so you have a backup plan in case singing doesn't work.
Fair enough.
Very smart of them, obviously.
Obviously.
Yes, obviously. But so
There is something I will say this. There is that is a very smart thing to do.
yeah, oh definitely.
But I do think that the 1% that get through though are those people that just say, I'm going all in no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rare.
It is very rare.
And that's why you're saying
Definitely.
it's smart. Because you are also an exception in this industry. You know, like you've made your way all like to a very high position in the music industry. But it's like, that's a 1% too, you know?
Yes,
So it's
definitely.
there's so many different routes. But yes, the one going straight to LA and being a starving artist
Yeah.
is super hard.
Super hard. Well, and of course, you know, when you're 17 years old, you aren't thinking like there are a million bands out there trying to do the exact same thing as me. I had no actual exposure to the real music industry yet.
Exactly.
So, you know, I didn't even know what a booking agent was.
Exactly.
I'd never even heard of such a thing. All you ever heard about was a record label.
Yeah.
Record label.
Manager.
Yeah. I mean, never really even heard much about managers, at least not until I was like in college.
Gotcha.
But I started managing a band when I was in high school. It was actually these guys that were in the same grade as my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually really, really talented. And I mean, by managing them, I mean, like I would go to their practices and they would ask my opinion and I would like help them like load in and out of shows and make sure they got paid if they were getting paid. And just kind of, it was almost like I was like babysitting them because I was older and stuff. But that was my first experience working with artists other than myself.
That's pretty cool.
Long time ago.
You're like, all right, guys, so I didn't get you money, but I got you 4 bags of Skittles, popped a bag of popcorn, and a ride to the mall tomorrow.
Yeah, we have another VFW show coming up. Those were basically the only places you could go play because it was the only like all ages type of situation because it wasn't like you could go play a club because they weren't 18. I wasn't 18.
I mean, look at the drive-in came from El Paso. They used to play Backyards.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
there were plenty of backyard shows.
That's the difference, though. And so I think when you're saying there was a million bands and you going to LA would have been hard, at the time probably would have been hard, but not as hard as it is now.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's
because everybody can just put out their own music.
Extremely hard. Yeah, I mean, you can just go on. You can go to your closet, record with a USB microphone into your computer.
You can just record into your phone's microphone.
Yeah, true.
You don't even have to.
And then you can put it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Crazy.
Next thing you know, you have the most downloaded song in history.
Bananas.
Which is not what this conversation is about. But
No.
This is about you and your journey. And so we're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to pause for
I think we should probably hold before we go into college because that's where everything really changed for me. Yeah. The goal of being a singer started to become more real, but also the goal of working in the music industry started to become more real. I ended up kind of at like a 2 roads diverging, gonna have to pick one of them.
I'm glad you chose this road.
Me too. Because I got to meet you.
Yeah. In a selfish way, I say that.
Selfishly, I'm glad too. It worked out the way it was supposed to.
It always, as much as we want to fight it sometimes and be like, I should get this, or I should be there. This is my dream. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yes, it is. But are you really? Did you really, put in that effort to be there?
Yeah.
Or, there's a lot of things that come to it. But I really like your story. I've always really enjoyed, since the day we met, I have always really enjoyed the fact that you were a strong woman in the music business.
Thanks.
Because it at times can still be a good old boys game.
Yes.
It's
definitely.
shifting though. I mean, there's
slowly
definitely
getting better and better.
Yeah. You just see more and more females that are out there doing high profile things, and a lot of them are your friends, which is cool too.
It's funny. I actually saw, this is just like one random thing I saw on Instagram the other day. There was this article, I think maybe it was in Billboard or maybe Variety.
Okay.
Something like that. It's like a major publication. Mm-hmm. And this girl who I did an internship with when I was an undergrad, which we'll talk more about next time. But I didn't know, but she had also stuck with it in the music business and is now one of the top sponsorship and endorsement agents at a major booking agency in the country.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And has done some stuff with some big artists, secured them deals and stuff like that. It was so cool to see. I was like, oh my gosh, look at you. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
We were 21 running around New York City together.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that story, definitely. Yeah. But you hit the head on the nail right there when you said
hit the nail on the head?
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Shit. Hit the nail on the head. What did I say?
Hit the head on the nail.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, it's still technically correct.
I am freaking...
It's technically correct.
I'm dyslexic sometimes. Or just the way that words come out of my mouth. Sometimes it's
okay.
It's a gamble. You just never know what's going to...
Grammatically still correct, just not the popular phrase that you were looking for.
Copy.
Yeah. On that note.
No. Hold on. Not on that note. You can't just end the show at whenever you want.
It's my birthday. Yes, I can.
This is a dual hosting thingy. Co-host.
Okay. But dual hosting thingy.
Dual host. Words aren't working again.
Struggle bus today.
No, what was I gonna say though?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you got me all flustered. Am I blushing?
A little.
No, I'm not. I could only picture you blushing.
Oh, my whole face turns red.
When you hiccuped your way off stage.
I was pretty proud of myself. I was terrified because I forgot the words and started hiccuping, and so then I just started over.
How many talent shows have you been in?
A lot.
I've been in 2.
I think. I don't know. A handful.
I did crisscross.
Oh.
Make you jump.
Did you wear your overalls backwards?
I did.
Nice.
Not overalls. They were just
jeans.
Backwards.
Also
and then
awesome.
I also did Vanilla Ice's Ice Baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we were definitely meant to be.
We lip synced.
Love it.
We didn't. I don't know if we won. I don't even.
Didn't matter. Ladies loved you.
Nah, not back then. I didn't have tattoos.
Not back then.
I didn't have tattoos. And,
no.
No. I was gonna say this. This is what I was gonna say about sticking with it. I'm glad that you've stuck with the music industry because I know that since we've met, you have had moments where you're like, oh, I'm frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what's so cool about your story is that you have stayed in this business and you just continue to grow. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's just such an inspiring story to so many young listeners or even our little ones. It's like you get to tell the story about how you did stick with it, and now you have a really cool job.
I do. I'm
very,
very
blessed. Work for a guy who has his catalog is amazing in his own.
Yeah.
And then he has helped people with their career. I mean, it's just like he's a very inspiring person to work for. I'm sure, and you get to learn a lot. So. And so I think that my point is if you would have just got there your first day, didn't like it for a year, and then said, oh well, this stinks. I'm not getting what I want. You wouldn't be sitting here today telling a story about how you get to kind of live a cool childhood dream of meeting Gwen. Just as one simple example.
Yeah.
That's a very simple example, but it's a really cool example that,
For sure.
you know, like one of the first bands that you ever tried out for, you sang her song.
Right.
And now you get to, in a way, share just life with
it's
her.
really,
you know, it's
been
like you
cool
don't
to
fangirl. You're just
but it's a full circle moment.
Yeah, you get
Definitely.
to have a nice conversation and be in that moment and be like, whoa, this is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that was what I was gonna get to. Is that, you know, it's cool that you saw a friend that has made it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've made it.
Thank you.
You might not be exactly where you pictured yourself.
Always room to grow.
10 years or 10,000 hours.
Exactly. I was just going to say, that's what I think of if I ever get frustrated or down or anything like that. I'm like, all right, 10 years, 10,000 hours. You're not there yet.
In the same place.
In the same place. Exactly. Not just overall. In the same place.
Because you could say, oh, well, I've been in the music
industry for however long.
Rebel.
Yada, yada.
Yada. All right. We're going to end on yada, yada.
Okay. Yada, yada. Bye.
Wow.
You just
want to get out of here.
You said we're going to end on yada.
Bye. See you later. No thank you, audience, for stopping by this week.
So sassy.
Wow, it's your birthday once a year and you do this.
Yeah, once a year.
Yeah, true. It is once a year. We should have a radio show. I mean, I know this podcast show is amazing, but we should be on I feel like we could just laugh for a whole hour in the morning while people drive to work.
It might be fun for us, but whether or not it's fun for anybody else is to be determined.
There'd be a lot of accidents.
I'm sure.
On purpose.
Purposeful accidents.
Yeah, they're like, why'd you drive into this guardrail? I couldn't take my radio anymore.
I couldn't take it.
My volume button got stuck. And it was these two yahoos laughing.
About yada yada.
Yada yada for an hour.
Very annoying.
All right. Well, I want to wish you the happiest birthday today.
Thank you.
I hope that, this will have aired, many moments away from when we actually celebrate it, but I just wish you the happiest birthday.
Thank
I
you
love
very
you.
much. I love you.
As a co-host, I love you as a wife. I'm going to say my best friend.
Ooh. I'm going to go rub that in your other best friend's face.
Marilyn?
Neil. Marilyn. Neil, you got demoted to third. Finally.
All right.
And as a mama.
Yeah, as a mama.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love you.
All right.
Everybody stay tuned for
part
more
2?
fun things.
Yeah, well, this will be part 1 of part maybe 3. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll see how long it takes.
But, yep, happy birthday,
Thank
BK.
You. Woo.
Everyone, thank you so much for swinging by again. If you haven't signed up for the YouTube, obviously we're here.
Yep, go subscribe.
And bottoms up. Let's go have some fun for your birthday.
Bottoms up. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, babe.